Hello everyone, it's 11 p.m. right now, and I'm basically trying to decide whether I should read this book now or just wait until 2024 to read this. So, this is The Stranger by Albert Camus. So, Albert Camus is actually an Algerian author who follows philosophical, the philosoph why can't I say the philosophy of absurdism. And absurdism is, to my understanding, to my very limited research of what that is basically saying that everything is absurd and there's really no point in us trying to find rationality because everything's just absurd. And I'm really having a little bit of difficulty because some of the things that I read about absurdism has kind of similarities with stoicism, but then I researched that stoicism is actually the opposite of absurdism. So I don't know. I'm not really a philosophy major. I have a friend who is a philosophy major, but I doubt she would be pleased if I message her late at night and just ask her for my own personal curiosity. But yeah, basically, this book, The Stranger by Camus, is one of the works of fiction that displays absurdism, and it's basically a main character who lives an absurd life. It says in the back that this is the story of an ordinary man who unwittingly gets drawn into a senseless murder on a sun-drenched Algerian beach. Camus explored what he termed the nakedness of man faced with the absurd. Basically, the person killed someone, and we will be able to see how someone who is in this philosophical world where absurdism is followed would react to that. I think I feel very stupid, which is not good because it's really just not my area of expertise. I literally do not know anything about absurdism. So I'm very excited actually to read this because I really want to know what absurdism is. It sounds very interesting, and I did like reading about stoicism when I read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and I feel like absurdism is equally as interesting as stoicism. And if it's the opposite of stoicism, then I would be able to actually see what people are talking about. That's assuming that I would be able to understand absurdism using this work of fiction. And then aside from that, I'm actually reading The Whispering Statue, which is a Nancy Drew mystery, and it's one of the ones which are the earlier works, I think. But I don't think the original author of the Nancy Drew series wrote that one. But I essentially searched Google holiday or Christmas Nancy Drew stories, and that popped up, but it's not really a holiday themed book. Hello everyone, so I did start reading The Stranger by Camus last night, and I'm on page 26, which is, I think, chapter 3. It's a fairly fast read. It's not that difficult to actually absorb. However, the first part of the book, as also discussed in the translator's notes, is more structured in a way that it has short, precise sentences, and basically that how it is that it feels like this happened, I saw this, I went here. It's just very short and precise, as the translator has described. And the second part is actually more lyrical, so I'm excited to see the second part. It's definitely bizarre in a sense where there's these unusual things that are happening, but there's no explanation provided to you as to why that bizarre thing happened, which I think lends itself to the concept of absurdism, as I said last night. And of course, I'm not uh, an expert on absurdism, but I feel like that is how it is. Like there are these weird irrational things that are happening to you, but the universe is meaningless and irrational anyway, so you don't have to spend your energy trying to make sense of everything. I feel like that's what it's giving me. So yes, I will be reading more of this today, and I feel like I can actually finish it if it's not that if the content is not as harrowing as I expect. I feel like I would be able to actually finish it. But when I think about it, if the theme follows that philosophy and harrowing things occur, I don't have to make sense of them. So they're not as harrowing, I think. Hello everyone, so I have been reading more of The Stranger by Camus, and I now understand why people would consider this as one of the best books that they've ever read, or the best books that have ever existed in human society. And that's because it's just simple and yet complex. So it presents itself in this simple way, just simple. A man kills someone and then he goes to be investigated about it. And isn't that just like a simple thing? And yet it contains so much more in it, and it's basically showing you this man, and he is thrust into this situation that is so uniquely perfect for the kind of man that he is to be able to convey the thought perfectly. Like, for example, there's this scene where he is being asked, like, did he feel bad, or why did he hesitate between the shots? And he's like, there's no meaning. Like, he just hesitated between the shots, and that's it. And just people, you and me, probably would want to make some sense of like why. There has to be a reason, but then there's no reason, and we just have to accept it. And it's the perfect scene, it's the perfect setting for him and his thoughts and beliefs and mindset to thrive in, and just make us understand him more. And just so cool. It's so cool how this is achieved, actually. Anyway, I will probably read more of this bizarre little book, and then I will probably watch a festive movie. But yeah. Hello everyone. So I did finish reading The Stranger by Albert Camus, and I think I gave it 4 stars. And it's such an amazing book. And I feel like it was really a great introduction to this author's work, and I definitely would try to look into more of his works. And actually, I did research where you should start with Albert Camus, and this was in everyone's reading guides. So yes, I do think that's a good intro, and it's not that difficult to understand and to absorb, and it's super short. It's actually shorter than you'd think because the margins are quite big as well. Like, look at that. The margins are super big. But yes, Albert Camus, I can now say that I have read one of his works. And then I did finish one of my rereads, which is A Court of Frost and Starlight. Definitely not as impressive as I first read it. And yeah, it's just a novella. And the Akatar series is not that special, but I do enjoy reading it. So, and then I did start a new book, which is The Fine Print, which is one of TikTok's or booktube's most famous romance books, and it's honestly so bad. I I need to build back the trust lost because what is this? Oh my god, it's super painful to read. And this is not me hating on romance books because I do love a good romance, and I do think that there are so many good romance books out there. Like, take for example, those books by Emily Henry, they are amazing. They are constructed well, they are interesting, the characters are well developed, the characters are not parodies or caricatures of what an actual human being is like. Because these other romances, it's like when you want to read a certain trope and you know that that certain trope would appeal to a lot of people, so you just dump stuff and worry more about the integration of these tropes than the actual development of the story. I Anyway, probably not for me. Maybe I should just see an if it protect your peace. Yes, I do hope to find good romances in the next year. And I just know that Emily Henry's new book will be one of them. Happy Plate? Wait, no. Funny Story. Anyway, that's it for this vlog, and thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.